here we go again. Hello, Wanderers. It's Soul Wanderings time with me, AJ.
And me, Natalie.
And we're here to hang out with you this evening. So thank you for being here with us. We're hanging out live on Facebook and YouTube under Soul Wanderings. And wherever you're joining us from, thank you. Hello. Say hello in one of the chats. We'd love to hear from you and know that you are with us this evening. We are Soul Wanderings. And we've been doing this for a minute. We really, really, really enjoy wandering with you. Each week we choose a new topic. We dive into it for about an hour and just see what comes up in the conversation. And you are allowed to participate. If you have any questions, type them in all caps over in the live chat. If you missed the live show, you can always leave a comment. We'll get back to you. And if you have a show topic request of your own, please let us know. You can email us at connect@soulwanderings.com. We've been picking a lot of topics, but I have a whole entire list. I believe I wrote 50 topics down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 50 topics down.
She has a very ordered it's ordered, categorized. It's lovely.
That's just the way I operate.
It's so good. And it's colorful.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything I do looks like rainbow vomit. And everyone wonders why I wear black all the time. Well, because I play in color and I'm not wearing black. Fun stuff. If you guys want to learn more about myself and Natalie, you can visit us at soulwanderings.com. During the day, we hang out at this really beautiful healing center that we help people through trauma, grief, spiritual awakenings, just overall sense of well-being. We're here to support that with you. And if you're in the northern Utah area, you might want to consider coming to hang out with us. We're a lot of fun. We have classes, services, all kinds of good stuff. But for those of you who are farther away, we are here on the YouTube and the Facebook. Hi, guys. I love our people who come in every week. You guys are amazing. Thank you. So, tonight, messages in the moonlight. What does that mean? We're going to be talking about dreams. And dreams are more than nighttime stories. I know a lot of people will have dreams and be like, oh, that's cool. Don't put a lot of meaning behind it. But they are messages from our soul, I feel. They're intuitive hits that we receive. And Natalie and I were talking earlier, and what came to me is they are reflections of our subconscious. They're our spiritual guidance from beyond this world. So, in tonight's show, we're going to be talking about the intuitive meaning of beyond, I would say, behind the dreams and the symbology. We'll get into that a little bit and the deeper spiritual purpose of the dream world. And also, Natalie's going to introduce the dream rave with us, which is really, really cool. If you're into human design or interested in that, it's a whole new thing that I even am learning. So, this will be a lot of fun. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, the people and you and I.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Do you
So,
dream?
do I dream?
Yes.
Oh, geez. Yes, I dream. I do dream. I go through phases though. There are times where I don't feel like I'm dreaming, but I believe that we all have dreams every night. My feeling is we all have dreams every night. And I hear often that people will say, I don't ever dream, or I have dreams and I don't remember them. And I feel like that is something for sure. And possibly, maybe we're not meant to remember our dreams at this time. And also a few other reasons. But we were talking earlier today, um, and you'll get more into it with the dream rave, but uh, having multiple timelines play out at once. So our dreams are our dreams messages, intuitive hits, or are they playing out bits of our reality in other timelines or dimensions? I don't think anyone ever has had proof or really truly know the answer to how the dreams work. And I know it's been researched and studied for time and all eternity, I'm sure. And it's just a fun topic. So we may not have the answers, but we have some ideas of our own.
Oh, yes. Our own experiences.
I get a lot of messages in my dreams. And so when I get something, I'm like, hey, there is something to that. I do take notes. So I keep a little journal or I pick up my phone. I have a notebook on my phone and I just jot a couple of things down. And a lot of times something will happen that day or within the week that is relative to what I received, either for myself or for someone else. And I've even had dreams when before my first grandbaby was born, he would come and hang out with me. I knew exactly what he would look like and feel like. And now that he's 3, all of those little qualities throughout the years, it was like, oh, this is so familiar. I know you so well. Yet in human form, he's only 3. And I don't really know that side of him yet, right? But I knew in my heart, like, this is my grandbaby. And then my second grandbaby, she came and visited me a couple of times. So it's just, I don't know, it's interesting and I can't explain it, but I trust it. There's too many things that you could consider a coincidence, but I don't look at any of that as a coincidence, especially the level of detail that I get sometimes. Like, how would I even know that? So I just really trust that it is intuitive messages that come through that are guiding us along the way. I have a lot of feels on it, but what about you? Do you dream?
I do dream. I have really vivid dreams. Most of the vivid dreams are right before I'm waking up, or if I wake up and then go back to sleep and then wake up again.
Mhm.
That is when I find that at least those are the ones I remember the most.
Mhm.
I do find times where there's a lot of dreaming throughout the night, and I feel like that's
Waking up.
very active time. Whether that's because of solar energy or I'm processing things, I don't know. I was thinking about this and today and remembering back throughout different phases of my life. I remember lots of years ago, probably when I was in my 20s, I did have a lot of a theme that went through dreams a lot, which was always being chased. And so there's these different symbologies that are written into the dream dictionaries and things like that. I would experience being chased, and then if and being weak against a stronger person, like not being able like throw punches or something and not have them land on the person, and feeling like I couldn't fight the stronger forces. So those were a couple of things in my dream. Um, and I remember a period of time where I was flying and I could lucid dream, where I was an awareness while I was dreaming, but I could manipulate the dream. Or
Mm.
lucid dreaming, and I would interact in the dream space and be making decisions or conscious things. I also remember there was a really vivid dream. I can still remember the imagery of it, where I was in a dream and like someone got killed and I was like washing the blood off my driveway, and I went through all that dream and like and I was like, oh, I didn't like that at all. So I went back into the dream and changed the course of the dream so that that didn't happen. Made some different decisions along the way.
Wow.
And
That's
that
some
was
powerful work.
probably as I was growing in my waking state, ability to be more comfortable in my skin in my waking state. And definitely some of those dreams of being chased were definitely, when I look back on them, were symbolic of what I was fighting against in my waking life.
Mm.
that my dream was reflecting a lot of the struggles that I was having in my waking life that I was trying to work out in the dream space. And
Mm.
I don't know, the flying, that was always fun. And I remember chatting, so I was still working for the Air Force at that time, and I remember having a conversation with someone, and he said, "Where does your propulsion where's your propulsion come from when you're flying?" Which I hadn't really considered. He was saying, "Does it
Mm.
come from your hands? Does it come from your feet? Do you fly like Superman? Where's your propulsion to fly?" I was like,
Good question.
fascinating question.
Do you recall?
Um, some of it I could just fly. Like I was light, like I could just move my energy. And I don't know if that was a
Mm.
crossover with him, like coming from my hands. And and some of it I knew I could just move my body like anti-gravity, like gravity wasn't a thing. I could go beyond gravity
Mm.
and just move around that way.
Mm. That's
Um,
really cool.
I think some of my flying dreams was when I was actively practicing seeing things from a higher altitude. So I would fly above the landscape and just fly, seeing things from a different perspective.
That's
Like
interesting.
altitude gets you.
Charles, we fly by force of will.
Sometimes.
That's the propulsion. I love that.
We're flying
For
to escape the
funsies,
prey.
we'll get to it, but I brought a couple of my favorite dream books because they're interesting. And also someone else put meaning to the symbols and details, right? And so just look at it as information. Take what I want, leave the rest. But they are,
Always.
yeah, they're really interesting. They're really fun to look through. So if you guys are like having a reoccurring dream or wanting some clarity on something you keep getting, like I know people will dream about like snakes or spiders on repeat, and they all have different meanings. But also, like you said, you were running away in a dream and things like that, and that all has symbology that someone's created.
It
Many
was
people.
like being chased. Like there was always someone pursuing me. Running away, but yes, but there's also that part that's like being chased in a dream.
Mm. Genghis says, in the dreams I recall flying in, I had to really concentrate, will myself to fly like Superman. You know what I really enjoy is hearing these. Thank you for sharing, everyone. I like how people remember their dreams, and also like you, they're in their dreams navigating them as well. They're not just like watching it like a picture. That's what I do. I don't try to change or manipulate anything that I get through because I'm wondering, like, what am I going to get? What's the information coming to me?
Mm.
I've never even considered like going back into a dream and rewriting the script. But I guess that's something you would do in any kind of like, well, like for me, when I do trauma release, you do go in and do that consciously, right? But you go into the trauma and we rewire the neural pathways through different means with energy. And it's just, why wouldn't you think of doing that in a dream? It's just so cool. I mean, obviously you have, and Genghis has. I have not tried that. But also I'm curious, and I know that you wouldn't know personally, um, is what do you feel about our dreams that come to us while we are asleep versus the dreams or visions in the awake, or if we have decided to take some kind of hi Maria, hi Tess, long time no see. So if we were to take some kind of um I don't I don't know what to call it, but like say we were taking psilocybin or cannabis
Oh,
or ketamine or something like that, where you go into this dreamlike state. Do you
Mm.
feel like the messages are going to be different, or is it like we are accessing the dream world in that medicated state, if you will? Do you think it's the same message? What do you feel like the messages would be the same or altered, or are those memories? It like
There's so many different things those could be. Um, I um, Sometimes I feel like if you're taking some psilocybin or um, those types of things, they're visual visions, but it still has to do with um, energy. All things are energy. So my initial thing was that the universe converses in symbols
mhm.
because words are really for us in body.
Mm,
The universe doesn't need word language to communicate. So it communicates with visualizations and symbology, which
yes.
is what I think a lot of the dream dictionaries are taking up. There's a collection of meanings for particular symbols. So they put words to the symbols to say these mean particular things. And so a lot of the visions, the visualizations, whether you're getting them in a ceremony under psilocybin or that those symbols are coming to you. And I
Mhm.
feel like often those types of things are signpost or guidance or mile markers for what you're going to live out in
Mm.
your life.
Like possible future outcomes.
Yeah, so we're just, hey, watch for this to show up in your life. And that's going to mean you're on the right track or
Oh,
you're on this track.
mm,
It's a little bit like psychic messages can be. It was just like you're going to see this on your road on ahead. Or this energetic symbol, like someone recently just told me he had Ganesh was a part of a ceremony that he went through. And so working with Ganesh, or that's the symbol of saying, work with this, um, what do we want to say? This archetype. That might be a good
mhm,
word to use. Use this archetype. So symbols could also be archetypes to say, focus in on the language of that energy, and the energy is going to represent itself in a way because we create this. It is in this simulation. Things are created, so we need to create something that'll have a flow through. I don't know if this is actually coming out right, but I'll go back to saying I feel like sometimes we're given an image so that we can see it in the future. We know we're on the right track. Some of that
interesting.
is what I feel the language of symbology. I don't know that it's the same. I personally wouldn't necessarily say that what we get in those types of things is the same thing that we would get in a dream,
Okay.
but it might be person dependent.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I was just wondering what your take was on it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a dream anyway.
What?
And so we're going about in this dream. So when we're asleep, are we really awake? Like, is our
There's
dream
that
world
too.
our reality?
Which
I could
one's the dream?
I could go in so many directions with this because I question everything. I'm always like, "Oh, let's figure that out. Let's research that. Let's" because I feel like when the physical world quiets down, right? Don't have all of the distractions and it's so quiet at night, the soul becomes more receptive to guidance or insight. So we have like, this quieting and then all of this information is able to come through, but that's also when we're sleeping and we're the most receptive, I would say, in the dream world because we're not resisting. And so it makes me wonder if like that's the realness because here we have all of these humanness qualities to us that uh, blur the reality. So I just always wonder like, David Lynch talked a lot about that. Thanks, Genghis. I'm gonna have to check him out. The name sounds familiar, but it's curious to me because I feel like dreams are like a bridge between our conscious and our subconscious, like our mind and our awareness. and also the spiritual realms. And so, like, what's what? Like,
Oh,
what's real and what's not? Like, the mind has been studied so much. Like, how do we even know what's what? Do you know what
well,
I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. So I want
Like,
to,
I just want to go all over with this, and I'm trying to narrow it in, but it's just like I have so many questions.
well, there are so many questions. Um, do you want to read that?
Genghis is sharing a quote: exploring consciousness where the dream is our perceived reality, including our personality, ourself, and the dreamer is the underlying absolute consciousness experiencing it. Oh,
Hmm.
is that a David Lynch quote? I'm curious. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But the dream world's often described to us as like a sacred realm where we connect to our intuition, like our higher wisdom and our soul memories. I know with the records, there's many times when I've had readings and the information that I've given has been the answer has been the answers in your dreams.
Hmm.
Like the answer to this question is coming to you in your dreams, and you just need to like stop deflecting it, like stop chewing it away. Do you know what I mean? Because we are like, yeah, it was just a dream.
Well, sometimes when dreams are nightmarish, it's a difficult thing to say, what is this scary um, world like when I was always being chased and when I
Mm,
felt like I just wasn't strong enough. It was a recurring thing over and over. And I had a lot of dreams that had that theme in it. I can,
yeah.
I can say in my life, I don't have those dreams as much anymore. I even had dreams where I was like, where there was a lot of nakedness. And so I felt like that was like being exposed
Mm,
um, out there in the world. It was a funny thing to have that just be a recurring thing showing up in my world. So I take things to me personally when I very feel intuitively. So it's whatever the first sort of thought comes to me intuitively to interpret it. And I don't know if it matters how we interpret it, but I guess it might matter because as we like use it as some guidance system, that'll be an aspect of flowing through the dream. But there's nothing wrong with questioning and exploring different interpretations and see what settles in. Like this one just sort of feels right.
yeah. And also, it's only real if you believe it's real. Like it's up for your interpretation. So if all of this is like, oh, geez, like then leave it there. You don't have to explain what's going on in your dreams or have an explanation, I should say. If it doesn't fit, don't try to make it fit. But
Right.
I think dreams are interesting. I had a really amazing dream the other day I have to tell you about. It's just really long and not long, but probably very personal, but it it was a hopeful dream. And I know a lot of people have horrible dreams. Like um Joe just listed earlier here in the chat that he always has bad dreams, always has. And people do when you they talk about dreams, that's the first thing you hear is, "Oh, I had a bad dream." But it's not very often that you hear people, "I had an interesting dream that offered me some insight and spiritual growth." Like, that's not a thing that you hear, or a hopeful dream. It's always like, "Oh, I had a dream someone's gonna die," or "I had a dream I was gonna get in an accident," or "I had a dream where I was being chased to be murdered," or, there are these horrible dreams, and I wonder where things like that come from. Like, if they're implanted into us or they're, like, memories from past lives, possibly, or we just decided to watch a really horrible movie before we went to bed, and then our brain is trying to make sense of that trauma that we just watched on TV, or
I
all of
have
the
looked at it
above.
to say, okay, so if you take and you make a movie out of your struggle that you're having in your waking life. So what if the dream is making a movie out of your struggle and it's doing it like a Hollywood version of it? And so it takes your struggle So I know in my life I was struggling against things, I don't think everything was consciously, but I know that that struggle where I couldn't fight a stronger forces was part of my life experience, pushed into the dream world, which I feel gives us an opportunity to, what would you need to have in your dream? So this is a fun thing to play with if you're having bad dreams or the things like that. What could I realize or take with me? How could I take a weapon and put it into my dream space, even if it was a practice or experiment, to say, what would I need to fight and be stronger in my dream space? And
Mm,
play with it a little bit. If there is a crossover and you're looking for spiritual connection or guidance, say, what was it? What would I need to be more powerful?
mm.
And at some point along my life, I started to fly. I mean, and that could be one of those things
Right,
of
and it is a
rising
common
high.
dream theme, people flying in their dreams
Yeah.
or, looking at their world from a higher perspective.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look in here because I don't know what I'm just curious,
I
just
remember,
curious.
I remember one time a few years back in our vibe shop that we had, the previous version of it. There was a mom was shopping for something for their little one, and to get, because the little one was having dreams. And I said, well, what could they build that would give them power? What's their superpower? How could they create, at least in their little mind, that they had a superpower and they could become a superhero in their dream?
Mm,
Why not?
why not? I feel like we can create our reality, right?
Oh,
You have
yes.
information and we also have free will. So we can do whatever we choose to do with the information that we're given at
Oh, yeah.
any given moment, not just in our dreams. Like that's just the reality of it. I've got to remember my alphabet.
It's
It's
always a
all
good
in,
thing.
yeah, alphabetical order. Um, uh, flying. Okay, so this is interesting. This book, what it does is it breaks it down into a dream or a vision or like depth psychology. So it's
Okay.
like broken down. But flying for a symbol is when you dream about flying, it usually indicates a need for freedom.
Oh.
It also indicates cravings for sexual thrills. Flying.
Okay.
A vision of flying is enjoying the flight means past events or situations have been successfully dealt with. Feeling anxious or pursued by something or someone could be a sign of physical illness. Flying high above other people, like you have a high flying plans that you cannot always carry out. Flying low above the ground means playing it safe in life. And flying over land and oceans means you want total freedom. A lot of times, if you're married, it may mean you want a divorce.
Oh. Some,
And yeah, go ahead.
well, so interpreting dreams. So you have this dream world that is giving you an awareness of something that you don't want to really lean into in your waking life. Like
Mhm.
you just read um, something about, like, oh, you're seeking a good divorce in your life, and then that comes into your awareness. Whew, and then you take a breath and saying, okay, well, then you have to come to the waking state and deal with the life that you're living in the waking state.
Mhm. I'm just showing Miss
Yes.
Joni, hello, Joni, the books that I have brought tonight. The depth psychology between about flying regarding flying has many different meanings. Sexual cravings, a better understanding about the past and insight into the future, or a wish to be lifted above the demeaning aspects of everyday life. Flying always is an uncertain undertaking because you are leaving the ground of reality and hopefully you will not fall back down to earth too harshly.
Whew. I remember one time flying on something that was like it was a seated flight that time, and it was on like on a big bubble or something that was cushioned, so I could bounce if I fell. It's fun to think about
It's
those
interesting,
vivid
right?
dreams that
So
are
we could
yes.
like go and we can make anything fit. So any of this, I'm sure we could, all of us could, oh yeah, that would make sense. I'm experiencing that. Like we could make it fit, but you don't have to.
Mm-mm.
It's not a religion.
Not a religion.
Thank goodness. The dream world. I mean, if you guys are having reoccurring dreams or a dream you're like, oh, I want you to read, let me know. We'll look it up while we're here on live. We can read you what the meaning is, at least in regards to this author or the other book. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. But
It
what
is.
about like symbols? Do you ever receive symbols in your dreams?
I think my more recent I've had dreams where like I'm working out like sociological things. Um, some of the dreams over the last several months have been, I feel like I'm being educated. Like I'm going to school in my dream space. Like I'm receiving an education or downloads. So there's can be a lot of symbology that I don't necessarily remember when I'm awake. So nothing other than those things that I've talked about. Um, but I'm not one to necessarily. Probably if I did some studying of different languages, I bet you I could have like runes. If I went into studying runes for a little while, I bet you those rune symbols would show up in my dream.
Right. Right.
I bet. So do you get symbols in your dream?
I have before, but also like there are things that come through that don't have a meaning to me. Like I don't understand what it means or what it's supposed to mean. And I just look at it as energy rather than like literal language, right? Because I think it's really important to like lean into feeling the message more than to analyze every detail.
Yeah.
Because that brings us to our headspace. So I think I feel that your intuition will help you interpret what your dreams mean for you personally. Because even if I were to get a symbol and you were to get the same symbol, you would experience that symbol in a different way than I would,
Oh, yes, for sure.
because we all interpret messages differently. And so, case in point, this person created a book on dreams, decided it meant this for whatever research they've done, but it might not mean that for me. This is like just a guide to say, hey, this is what it could mean. You put your own interpretation to it. But this is where I love the dream world, is because if you are remembering your dreams, wake up and hurry and place them in a dream journal, because you know you lose that information really quickly. And then maybe meditate on it, or tap into your intuitive side and help you interpret what they mean for you personally. Because a lot of times I feel like, even just with that flying, it means so many deeper things. They can reveal unresolved emotions or spiritual lessons or areas of growth that your soul is ready to experience. Like it
Right.
can mean so many things. It's the bad dreams, like people would consider bad. Like I feel like there's a lesson in everything, good, bad, or indifferent. So I'm not sure why people continually have bad dreams. But for me, if that was the situation for me, because I have gone through periods of having horrible dreams and they've gone away, and they're always coming up when uh, I'm about to level up some. It's like stuff that I need to resolve or let go of or heal from, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I think dreams are really important that way. They're messages. And I think that it's really important to honor your dreams and trust the wisdom that comes through, because it is your intuition communicating with you. And you may not always understand why or what they mean, but I feel like dreams are one of the purest way that your soul communicates with you, because then you don't have the noise of the daily life. You just have your inner wisdom that's speaking to you freely. So I think that dreams really show us what we're ready to face when we're awake, not to really scare us, but to guide us towards healing a lot of times.
Yeah. Guide us towards healing.
Yeah. Yep, that.
Mm.
So let's talk because we are already like more than halfway through the show. If you guys are joining us, thank you so much. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our Facebook or our YouTube pages because we're newer on YouTube. We're still building the platform. If you guys have any questions, ask them in all caps. And if you want to know more about Natalie and myself, visit soulwanderings.com. But I would like you to talk to us more about the dream rave in regards to the human design and how that works. And if you guys want any more interpretation, we can end the show with answering a couple of those for you. But go ahead.
So in human design, for those of you that, well, just as a reference, everybody has a body graph. So in our waking state, we have a particular a body graph, a design, we have a type, and we have definition within that 9-centered structure. When it comes to the dream, they refer to it as the dream rave, and it is a different structure. It's only a 5-centered being, and the structure is different. So your dream rave, which is that persona, the dream persona, is literally and so often different than your waking persona. So there's this shift from sleeping and dreaming and being a different type often, with different energy flow and different definition and different activations, to shifting into the dream space or into the waking space in this body and having it be a different type. So I was just reading about this, which was the inspiration to come in. Literally different matrices, different matrix.
That's so cool.
Different space, not even the same person. If you were to meet your dream person, the persona that you are when you're dreaming, you wouldn't recognize them as you. So they're literally a different you. And we get to interact in both matrices. That's cool to realize that we go to a different world in the dream world. And it also, to me, clarifies some confusion that people often have. My dreams don't make sense to me. Yes, because your dream person is a different person, acts completely different, maybe even has a different type. So type in human design, there's 4 types. There's the generator, the projector, the manifester, the reflector. I know in my dream space, I'm a reflector. That's nothing like my manifesting generator self that I am. Very different. You know, it would take this long time to make decisions. Maybe that's why I would have dreams. In my dream space, I would be figuring out things over a much longer period of time if I'm a reflector there than when I'm in my waking space and my emotional self. I'm not emotional in my dream space, emotional in my body space. Fascinating to realize that. And a lot of people are like, I don't understand my dreams at all. They don't make any sense. They don't resonate with me. And that would be one explanation to saying, because that's that dream rave. You're this dream rave in that space. And so when you wake up, it's important to remind yourself of what you are in the body, because the body's matrix is different than the dream matrix.
That is so crazy to think about.
I was the teaching Jabra, what I was listening or reading, what he was talking about was he was experiencing bitterness, which is the not self of a projector. And he was always experiencing this bitterness in his dream space, which is nothing that he ever experienced in his waking space. So it just was, whoa, mind blowing.
Yeah, I'm like wrapping my head around that. Ooh. That's so crazy.
gives me another thing to study that's like, oh, and then it comes to a different psychological interpretation of when you're coming to someone's experiencing these dreams and using the human design dream ray matrix framework ends up with much different interpretation than it would be through some of that symbology or different things. You would have, yeah, you have a different agenda in those spaces. And maybe just trust that the dream space is the dream space and the life space is the life space. But human design gives us a way to navigate that's a very mechanical way. And so coming to that form in your life, in your waking time, there's the way to solve the problems in your waking life. And then it would end up allowing the dream matrix to solve the problems the way that the dream matrix was supposed to go. And then maybe you come to a different awareness. I'm sure that we would have a different awareness when we apply a different framework or an interpretation to both spaces. I really liked, he called it the weak point. When you wake up and then need to be reminded of what your form is when you're awake.
That feels really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to learn more about that, especially because in my dream state, I'm a reflector. That's interesting. So are
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So then, and I'm also reflector.
When you separate your
when I
your
separate
two.
my charts.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I just want to learn more and more. Human design fascinates me.
Oh, so
Thanks
good.
for weaving it into our discussion.
You're welcome. I was curious. I wanted to bring up because I think this would be good. There's some of the in the conversation in the comments and I really experience a lot in my grief groups. Sometimes people will say, I dreamed about my person that died. You know, I felt them, they were there. And then I'll have other people like, I really want to dream about my person. They're not coming to my dream space. They don't show up there. So there's a variety of, but our loved ones can visit us in our dream world. And there's times where people have many dreams. I remember having one very real dream where my partner showed up in my dream, and it was so real that the grief just hit me again when I woke up. It's just like, oh, that loss was so real. And it can be a mixed bag because it's lovely to see them and connect with them and have a conversation where it feels like they're there again.
Yeah.
I even heard people say, but you're dead. How can you be here in their dream? But you died.
This isn't real.
Or maybe it is.
No. I wasn't saying it wasn't real.
Right. That's what they'll say. But it's not real. You're dead. How can you be alive?
Yeah. I also feel like that's, again, the receptivity that we have in the night versus during the day when it's just loud, right? And so they have a way of communicating with us a lot easier, or at least leaving us with something really deep and meaningful or special, like the messages that were shared with us tonight in the chat.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys, for sharing. Those are really cool stories. I really like it.
Our loved ones, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just love that kind of stuff. It fills me up. Go ahead.
If our loved ones can show up and interact in our dream space, that's where they can share with us, because we're so often blocked in our waking state by the grief. And they can't, I feel like they so often communicate with us all the time, but the grief can block really feeling them, because when they come to visit us or connect with us when we're awake, then we just get washed with that grief, and it scrambles the message that they might be trying to send us, that it's going to be okay, that they're all right, and they know that we're going to be all right, and they send their love to us, and they still love us, and that's carrying on.
Yeah.
That never dies.
Never, not ever.
Not ever.
I love that so much. We'll keep talking about dreams, but before time is out and we don't have time for you to respond, I'm going to give you guys a couple of topics for next week. And
we're going to vote.
And we're going to vote by the end of the show. We'd like to know. So I just got to go through my list. It's a little long.
It's exciting. We have lots of topics on the plate.
Yeah. What one of the topic choices, grief as a spiritual journey. Mm. Ooh, it's a good one, Natalie.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. So if you guys want us to talk about grief as a spiritual journey, place a red heart in the chat. If you would like to talk about energy cleansing and protection, place a smiley face in the chat. And I'll give you one more. If you guys want us to talk about developing spiritual discernment, do a frowny face in the chat. Now that's for next week. You guys vote. We have a heart if you would like us to talk about grief as a spiritual journey, a smiley face, energy cleansing and protection, and a frowny face, developing spiritual discernment. Thank you. Thank you for your votes. Make sure you hit those like buttons on the platform you are hanging out on for us. Okay, so what's a regular occurring theme or symbol or something that you hear people talk about often when they talk about their dreams? Ooh, an hourglass. Hourglass. Do you ever see hourglasses?
Yes, I think I have seen that. Sands of time running out in an hourglass.
Interesting. Now I've just got to find it because I just thought of that. Just any kind of smiley face working is, it's all good. So an hourglass, as you would assume, or I would assume, I should say, as a symbol, sometimes a symbol of death, the hourglass is also a primary image of moderation. If you see it as a vision, the hourglass reminds us how swiftly time passes. It might mean separation from a loved one, or that you are running out of time. And psychology, the hourglass reminds you that life passes like sand through your fingers. It means time is marching on and you feel you haven't achieved anything significant. Figure out what the lesson is in this dream. And we'd like to say a big birthday happiness to Ronald, who just entered the chat. Happy birthday. Long time listener, hanger outer, wanderer. Thank you, Ronald. Happy birthday. So what about you? What's a symbol or something that you would?
So one thing that came up, I don't know how it would show up in the book, but like not being able to hear someone. Like I've known sometimes people's like, I can't hear what they're trying to tell me.
So their mouth is moving, but no words are coming out. Oh,
yes.
I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
That's wild.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure what the word would be. I'm going to say, let me look up a couple.
To see if you can find that.
We've done a show on dreams in the past. You guys probably remember if you've been with us for a long time. It's been a couple of years, though. I think we really got deep into the books. People were ST. I don't know what that would be.
There's often another thing. Well, these are just the things that have come up recently, like when you're like in a gunfight or there's guns involved, and
But you just don't
you're-
hear the sounds.
no, that's two different things,
Oh,
like silence in a dream, or I don't know what that
that's
would
what
be.
yeah,
Communication.
lack of.
Hmm.
Um, wow, you guys, there is a lot in this book. Silence. No, I don't think that's
That's
the
not
right
it.
speech. Speechless. Ooh, let's look for speechless. Oh my gosh, that's really cool, Ronald. How exciting for you. Good people to hang out with.
Yeah.
Let's see. OP speech. Speech. No, this is all about actually talking.
Now,
To be continued for the lack of digging in time.
this is just demonstration about how you then have to frame what the symbology of the dream is to put it into some language to look it up in the dictionary.
Oh, there's nakedness. You
Oh yeah,
talk
let's talk
about
about
no clothes.
yes, no
A
clothes.
lot of people have those
Naked.
experiences in their
Mhm.
dreams. So let's talk about that. So the vision for it doesn't do symbol, but the vision. Did you walk the streets naked or did other people see you are naked? Let go of your shame. The dream is a memory of the fun you had as a child and that your parents considered being naked a taboo. Every now and then, our psyche needs to relive the excitement of past feelings, like your father holding both of your hands and swinging you through the air, or early childhood feeling of freedom when free of clothes. Oh, yeah, kids love to be naked. So do I. Clothes are overrated. If you frequently dream about walking the streets naked, this means feeling of inferiority have prevented you from achieving your personal goals in the past. Taking off your clothes, you want more independence and freedom. Um, Seeing yourself naked as a child in a dream, your family is about to have a new member, your own or a family of your friends. Or seeing a person of the opposite sex naked, your secret or burning passion for someone will be reciprocated.
Whoa!
Watch out for that flame. The psychology behind dreaming about being naked means you are afraid of being found out. You are emotionally upset right now and don't want others to know. The dream is a challenge to be emotionally vulnerable, to take a chance and admit your weaknesses. The dream might also express erotic needs that are either being met right now or that you think are foolish.
Fascinating.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Well, I have to say that some of that resonates with what I've gone through in my life. I like the ability to tap into dictionaries like that and explore it and feel what resonates and let that transmute the struggles that I've gone. I really do feel like dreams are a pathway to transmuting, healing, like moving to different levels. Like they're a pathway for that. Um,
Mhm.
Everything is, of course, open to interpretation, but I feel these aspects of the human experience are available to us to learn and grow.
Yeah.
That underlying a lot of this is just the universe is interested in us moving through things and not being trapped.
Mm.
That must
Yeah.
be my hope talking.
I hope talking. So I want to end this episode with strengthening your dream intuition. So some things that I did when I started receiving a lot of um, dreams, and I was like, "What is this about? Why am I having these dreams?" And then things would happen throughout the day or the week, like I said, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I dreamt about this." So I really want to encourage you if you're wanting to be more connected to your dreams and remember them to keep a dream journal like I explained earlier. Dream journals are really great because you can write something down right away before you forget. And I always say, "Oh, I'll remember that." And I don't always remember that. because when we're coming out of our sleep state, we don't remember those things. The other thing is set intentions before you go to sleep. So share with yourself some intentions that possibly messages that you would like to receive, like answers to things that you're experiencing or connecting with a loved one or whatever that feels like for you. And then reflect on the emotions that come up in the dreams and don't just focus so much on the symbols. Because, like I said, symbols, they're up for interpretation. And I feel like another thing, and this is probably a given, but learn to trust your inner knowing and to learn to trust yourself, your intuition, because your intuition is capable of being like your own dream interpreter in
Oh,
a way.
yes.
You navigate your life through your intention and your intuition. You will always be guided to what is for your best and highest good. And I feel like that's here in this human experience or in the dream world or vice versa, whatever is real, or if it's all fake, I don't know. But whatever you decide to make of it, just learn to trust yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. This is fun. It's informative. It may spark some of your intuition. It may spark some curiosity and you may want to learn more, but this is not the answer. This is the answer. What do you have to say in closing?
The intuition is a very spontaneous knowing without a lot of words. There just isn't a lot of words to an intuitive knowing. So it's another thing. If you're practicing with your intuition, keep practicing with it and be kind to yourself. There's always this part that we can be really mean to ourselves. And so when we're learning things, that understand that to have a beginner's mind is to have fun with it. It's funny. I opened up my YouTube on my phone and there was Alan Watts talking. He's like, just remember, like, to let it all be play.
Yeah.
Not work and play, but let it all be play. Like, to bring in that playful aspect can really make a difference in your life. To not take it, coming from someone that takes things very seriously, it's important to play and to have fun with it. And the intuitive really is a very now oriented thing. So it's learning to trust the first thing, very first thing, and then watching that be correct.
Yeah,
For
don't
you.
let it go to your mind and try to
No,
rewrite
the
it.
mind is like, then it was like this and this, and it's like, what was the very first thing? And I believe that would be the practice that you would start to get if you wrote it down first thing. Waking up first thing, you just write down the dream space, get in your waking world, revisit the dream space through that journal, and then you pick it up after you live out a little bit.
Yes.
It's meant to be an exploration.
Everything is, in my opinion. Explore, experiment, live life, do all the things, have all the experiences. So, going through the votes, it looks like next week we'll be talking about energy cleansing and protection.
Okay.
That's a good topic.
Oh, it's a really good topic.
Very good topic for what is going on in the world right now.
Right
to
on
protect
time.
your peace. So that's what we'll be talking about. Thank you for the votes. You guys are awesome. It's so fun having you interact in the chat rooms. Thanks, everyone. And I love that we have new people popping in. Thanks for being here.
Right.
We are just so grateful and appreciate you guys so much. So good. So we'll be here next week talking about energy cleansing and protection. We can't wait to have you hang out with us again. So until then, have a great week.
Have a good one.
Good night, everyone.